Let's talk about John's webinar. He's had almost 600 registrations. His cost per lead is $17, and he's had 95 calls booked through the webinar funnel. And this just continues to create that consistency of lead flow for the firm.
You're tuned into the Marketing Lawcast with James Campbell. Brace yourselves for game-changing digital marketing tips and exclusive interviews with industry gurus and top-tier attorneys smashing the 6- and 7-figure barrier. It's time to drive your practice to success. Welcome to the Marketing Lawcast.
All right, let's talk about, we've touched on a lot of the big mistakes of what causes a webinar to fail. Let's talk about some of those things. Now that you can avoid those mistakes, let's talk about some of the things you can do to ensure that your webinar funnel has success. So I'm going to talk you through the steps that we take at IMS to create a high-performing webinar funnel for our clients. The first step is developing your script and your presentation in what we call the doctor frame. This means telling stories that highlight the problems that you solve or the illnesses that you cure, so to speak, okay? We talk about the clients that you've helped, the outcomes that they've achieved. We also tell stories about how people that didn't work with you, if they didn't plan properly, what happens to them? What are the pitfalls? What's the downside? What are the bad things that can happen when folks don't do things properly? My friends, this approach helps prospects see themselves in those scenarios. This creates an emotional connection that they have with the outcome and the potential bad outcomes, okay? So both the good and the bad. They can connect emotionally to either one of those and see themselves and their family members in the stories that you tell. And my friends, this motivates them to take action. Remember, people make decisions emotionally. They justify those decisions intellectually. If we don't talk about emotional things at all during our presentation, we've given them no reason to make a decision. All we've done is given them information, and they're fine to take that and stay kicking the can down the road in pure procrastination mode. The next step, the next thing you need to invest in is high-quality audio and video. Looking and sounding premium is absolutely essential to attracting premium clients. Those people who value your expertise and are ready to invest in top-notch legal services. You don't want to attract tire kickers here. You want to attract the buyers in pain. Remember those types of leads that they recognize that they have a problem, they recognize that the problem is hurting them, and their biggest desire is to solve or fix the problem. Those are the people who we call buyers in pain. They need your help now, and they're ready to pay for it. And so doing things premium at a premium level will attract those premium clients. And the same is true vice versa. Again, if you're doing things low quality, on a budget, on a shoestring budget, trying to DIY things yourself, you're going to attract people who want the cheapest service. And the people that want the premium service are not going to pay attention. The next thing, a strong call to action is critical. It should be directly tied to the outcome that the prospect desires. So again, those ads talking about the problem, okay? The landing page talking about the problem, the webinar addressing the problem and addressing the prospect's desires. Not just a document like a trust. We're not touting how wonderful and awesome a trust is, because they could go buy that from anyone. We want them to solve the problem with you. The peace of mind they get from having their affairs ordered by someone that they can trust is crucial to these folks. So we've got to make it very clear that what they need to do next is book a discovery call. And we walk them through exactly how to do that and how this discovery call is the first step in achieving their goals. Guys, when we are crystal clear on our call to action, we're going to get more people that follow that leadership. That if we stay in that doctor frame, they're going to take the advice from the physician. They're going to fill their prescription and take the medicine, okay? Next, sales training. Whoever handles your follow-up calls or meetings, whether it's you or a staff person, needs some level of proper sales training. This training is crucial for converting leads into clients. At IMS, we provide this training to ensure that you close those leads, that your firm closes those leads at a high rate and maximizes the return on your investment. Guys, getting the most out of your budget and your webinar funnel is super crucial. And if we're dropping the ball with how we're talking to prospects, the words that we're saying, if we're not moving them into some sort of intelligent action and having a plan for exactly how to do that, we're going to drop the ball. Lastly, it's all about data. my friends. We've got to be able to leverage the data and the analytics. And we use this advanced CRM technology to track every aspect of your funnel, from ad performance to webinar engagement to lead conversions and calls booked. We analyze this data regularly with you, so we review this with our clients every month. To one, either if we need to refine the strategy or adjust the budget or the ads in some sort of way, or the audience or the landing page, we're going to do that. This ensures that your funnel continues to perform at its best. Let's just take a look at some of the data from some of our webinar clients to give you an idea. This may address some of your questions related to budget that I've seen come through in the chat. So first, we're going to talk about Brenda. We launched Brenda's webinar actually back in September of 2022, so she's been running this for a couple of years now. In 2024, the same webinar is still the firm's best performing lead source, and so this is some of the data just from January of this year through July. Registrations, she's had nearly 1,000 registrations at a cost per lead of $14. Her budget, started off at around $50, but now she's up to around $70 or $80 per day. And guys, just from automation alone, without tracking anybody that's come through email or through phone call follow-up, but just folks that have booked on the book a call directly from the webinar, she's had 46. And Brenda will be the first to tell you that she closes nearly everyone that comes through that webinar funnel. They're so much more qualified, so much more motivated. So if you can take that 46 times an average fee for an attorney in California, which is probably close to $5,000 for an estate plan, you can see that this brings in a significant amount of revenue for her year over year. Guys, the strategy behind this is just to increase the ad budget during the holiday season. So here coming up in November and December, as we get to Black Friday, she'll have to up her daily budget to keep that lead flow consistent, right? As more and more firms, the competition gets higher and higher on Facebook advertising, the cost per lead is going to go up. So if Brenda wants to keep her lead flow the same, she ups her budget to accommodate for that during those higher cost months. And then come January, that budget can go back down and keep the lead flow exactly the same. So just an interesting thing that you can do, we can keep track of when it comes to your budgeting and how we dial in to keep the lead flow consistent, to kind of iron out those months to where you don't have the peaks and valleys. We just have sort of a steady increase. We've got to pay attention to the data and make our adjustments just like we've done for Brenda. Let's talk about John real quick. We launched John's webinar, which is an elder law webinar for Medicaid planning, back in July of 2023. And so from January of this year through July 2024, he's had almost 600 registrations. His cost per lead is $17, and he's had 95 calls booked through the webinar funnel. Guys, this is a great funnel for John. And if you look at his cost per call book, it's very low, which is fantastic. And this just continues to create that consistency of lead flow for the firm. This has allowed John to avoid the peaks and valleys of lead flow like we talked about before, sort of ironing those things out. So we have that consistency of lead flow month over month. And when you focus on something like elder law, again, your ads have to be targeted, the audience has to be targeted. And when you know, as we do and as John does, the issues that your clients are facing, the big pain points, the big motivators for them to take action, when we know those things, that's what we highlight in the ads. And that's when we highlight it to the people that we think have those issues. Guys, the landing page all tells the same story. And John does a phenomenal job in his webinar of telling those third-party stories and helping get people engaged to recognize, oh, this is the person that I am. This is what could happen to my family. I love John's webinar. He has great success with that. Let's talk about one more. Let's talk about Michelle. Michelle actually has 3 separate webinars that she runs, and she started with her elder law webinar back in, I think, January of 2022. She added an estate planning webinar in November of 22, and she added a probate webinar in February of 23. Guys, so we rotate through all of these different webinars. So I think for 3 months out of the year, we'll run this elder law, then we switch to estate planning for 3 months, then we go to probate, and then back to elder law. Guys, they're advertised one at a time on a rotating basis, okay? She's had nearly 500 registrations come through, cost per lead around $16, an ad budget of $40 per day. She's had 150 meeting requests this year. and the firm closes almost all of those clients from the webinar campaigns. Guys, we utilize webinars on each of her practice area pages. This helps pre-qualify website leads as well, so we don't just promote these webinars solely on Facebook. We obviously promote them over email and on our client's website as well, so folks can register both on the website or from an ad through the landing page. Paid ad webinars throughout the year, these things help improve the performance of the client's three main practice areas, again, for probate, estate planning, and for elder law. This way she builds authority and is seen as the expert in all three of those practice areas. This leads to making sure that her ads don't suffer from ad fatigue, that her audiences don't suffer from ad fatigue. So we switch up these audiences and new people see these ads all the time. We've expanded Michelle's reach from just outside of her local market to the entire state of New Mexico because she can do a lot of stuff over Zoom and virtually. And obviously folks that want to work with Michelle, even if they're 3 or 4 hours away, if they see that ad, there's nobody else closer, they want to use her, and she can serve those people over Zoom virtually. Guys, leveraging technology, social media, and your reach, be able to use the data, to be able to use these third-party stories, to have your staff people go through sales training to make sure that they make a huge difference in the success of your firm. All of this stuff is super valuable. And some 3 great examples for us to look at as to what leads to success. Guys, at IMS, we specialize in creating and managing a successful webinar funnel for estate planning, elder law, and probate attorneys. We bring a deep level of expertise in your field, ensuring that every element of your funnel, from your script to your follow-up, is optimized for success. Just like we've done for other clients beyond just the 3 we talked about today, my friends, we can help you achieve the same results that you're looking for. Now, as we've seen today, the cost of getting this wrong is far greater than the cost of doing it right. If you're ready to take your webinar funnel to the next level and start seeing real results, I encourage you to book a discovery call with our team. We'll discuss your market, your practice, and how we can create a webinar that drives consistent, profitable growth. Guys, thank you so much for attending today. I look forward to helping you and helping you succeed with webinar funnels.
That's a wrap on this edition of the Marketing Lawcast. Thanks for joining us. Head over to imsrocks.com for more growth-focused insights. If you're ready to skyrocket your firm's marketing, don't hesitate to book a free strategy call with our team right on our website. Here's to your success. See you next time.